From his humble beginnings in 1938 to becoming the ultimate symbol of hope, Superman has soared through generations. The introduction of Superman marked the dawn of the superhero genre, paving the way for countless other heroes who would follow in his footsteps. So today, let's go over how the Man of Steel has evolved throughout the ages. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Connorville, always happy to have you here. And with the Superman trailer dropping yesterday, we had to go over everything Superman. If you're like me, you don't got 2-3 hours to go over everything. So this is my crash course to you on everything Superman. Real quick, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it means the absolute world to me. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. Superman's journey began in 1938 with Action Comics #1. Created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, he was truly the first superhero, a champion of the oppressed, using his incredible superpowers to fight corruption and injustice. Superman's colorful costume and cape were influenced by circus strongmen and early pulp heroes like Flash Gordon. Clark Kent, Superman's mild-mannered alter ego, was a clever way to show how the strongest man alive could walk among us unnoticed. In these early stories, Superman was a working-class hero, a product of the Great Depression. His adventures reflected the struggles of ordinary people as he fought against abusive landlords, unsafe working conditions, and war profiteers. Siegel and Shuster drew inspiration from pulp magazines, science fiction, and the idea of a savior figure. This period also established the foundation of his mythology. We learned of Krypton, the doomed planet that sent its last son to Earth. And of course, we met Lois Lane, a fearless reporter who was as much a hero in her own right as Superman. His love triangle with Lois Lane introduced a unique dynamic to early comics. During World War II, Superman was used as propaganda. His stories became a rallying cry. He encouraged readers to support the war effort, symbolizing hope for a brighter future. But this would lead us into the 1950s. The 1950s and the 1960s brought the Silver Age of comics, where Superman's stories embraced science fiction. His adventures expanded to cosmic proportions, introducing new characters and elements that deepened his world. This era would introduce some of the most famous and fan-loved characters. This is the time where we would get Krypto the Superdog, Supergirl, and even the bottled city of Kandor, a miniature Kryptonian city preserved by the villain Brainiac. The Silver Age also brought some of Superman's most iconic villains. Brainiac, a cold and calculating alien, challenged Superman's intellect, while Bizarro provided strange comedic adventures as his imperfect clone. This is also the time period where Superman's powers would become basically limitless. And of course, his exploits became even more fantastical. This period expanded Superman's mythology further by introducing the Legion of Superheroes, a team from the future inspired by Superman himself, showcasing his legacy across time and space. Lex Luthor would also evolve into Superman's greatest foe during this era, transitioning from a generic villain to a scientific genius, fueled by his hatred and jealousy of the Man of Steel. Superman's popularity extended beyond comics. George Reeves brought him to life on television in Adventures with Superman, where he became a reassuring figure for families during a turbulent time. But of course, just like everything from the 50s and 60s, these lighthearted tales often leaned into the absurd. From Rainbow Superman to his temporary transformations, the Man of Steel took on increasingly bizarre challenges. Yet, despite everything, these stories cemented his place as a larger-than-life figure. But thankfully, that didn't last too long, because now we're heading into the 1970s. As the 1970s came around, Superman's story shifted to explore more grounded themes. Writers like Dennis O'Neil and Kurt Swan redefined Clark Kent, giving him a stronger identity as a journalist and expanding on his humanity. This era would tackle real-world issues like urban crime and corruption. These Superman stories tackled real-world issues in new ways. One notable moment was Superman confronting racial injustice in a team-up with Muhammad Ali, where the focus tried to be on unity and humanity. Superman's battles weren't just with supervillains, but with the ethical challenges of wielding immense power. But this era also explored Superman's deeper connection to Krypton, delving into his struggles to reconcile his alien origins with his human upbringing. Then came Superman the movie. In 1978, 1988, Superman the movie was released. This would be directed by Richard Donner and starring the famous Christopher Reeves. This film was groundbreaking, treating Superman's origin with a sense of reverence and awe. Reeves' portrayal captured both the alien majesty of Superman and the earnest humanity of Clark Kent. The success of the film and its sequel, Superman 2, proved that superhero stories could resonate on a grand scale, inspiring future adaptations. Richard Donner's approach to Superman the movie was simple but profound. Make him believable. The results speak for themselves. This Superman inspired hope, resonating with audiences for decades to come. Even to this day, in the new Superman trailer, we can hear the John Williams theme. And I believe Christopher Reeve's son is even going to be in the new movie. Which takes us to the 1980s. In the 1980s, Superman underwent a bold reinvention. John Byrne's Man of Steel miniseries streamlined his origin, focusing on his relationships with the Kents, Lois, and humanity itself. The 1990s also saw the rise of stories like Kingdom Come, which imagined an older Superman grappling with his place in a changing world of heroes. These stories would explore how he remained steadfast amidst chaos. This period emphasized Clark Kent as the true identity, with Superman being the mask. It humanized him, showing that his strength came as much from his upbringing as his Kryptonian powers. Then in the 1990s came the shocking death of Superman. When Superman fell in battle against Doomsday, the world mourned the loss of its greatest hero. The death of Superman's story also delved into themes of sacrifice and legacy, questioning what the world would be like without its greatest hero in it. His eventual resurrection wasn't just a triumphant return. It was a testament to the enduring need of hope. Superman's renewed focus on his humanity allowed stories to emphasize the emotional weight of his heroism and the everyday struggles that made him relatable. Meanwhile, Superman the Animated Series reintroduced the character to a new generation with a perfect blend of action, emotion, and timeless storytelling. But where are we now? 21st century has seen Superman evolve to reflect contemporary challenges. Bryan Singer's Superman Returns in 2006 paid homage to the Christopher Reeves era, exploring Superman's place in a world that had moved on without him. Henry Cavill's portrayal in Zack Snyder's 2013's Man of Steel and the DCU brought a grittier, more introspective take on the character, exploring the burdens of his power and the weight of public perception. In the comics, stories like Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman celebrated his mythical qualities, while other comics like Superman Red Son reimagined him in thought-provoking ways. On television, Smallville and Superman and Lois offered nuanced explorations of Clark's life, balancing his roles as a hero, husband, and father. In recent years, Superman's presence in crossover events, like the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, has brought together different versions of the character, celebrating his long-standing legacy across media. Over the years, some Superman stories have explored with what happens when the Man of Steel turns to the dark side. The Injustice video game series imagines a world where Superman, broken by tragedy, becomes a tyrannical ruler, showing how absolute power can corrupt even the greatest heroes. And then movies like Zack Snyder's Justice League hinted at an evil Superman under Darkseid's influence, while alternative takes in shows like The Boys and Invincible gave us chilling parodies of a hero gone rogue. These darker versions challenge Superman as the perfect symbol of hope, making us ask, what happens when the world's strongest protector becomes its greatest threat? Superman isn't just a movie and TV icon though. He's made a huge impact in video games and animated movies too. In the gaming world, titles like Superman 64, infamously known as one of the toughest games ever, introduced him to players. And as I mentioned earlier, the Injustice series gave us a more darker, more complex Superman in an alternative timeline where he takes a tyrannical turn. Meanwhile, animated movies have brought some of Superman's best stories to life. Films like All-Star Superman beautifully capture his mythical qualities. Superman Red Son imagines him as a Soviet hero, and Superman Doomsday adapts the iconic Death of Superman storyline. And we can't forget series like Justice League Unlimited, where Superman's leadership and unwavering heroism took center stage, inspiring generations of fans. Whether in games or animation, Superman continues to prove that his stories can soar across any medium. What I'm trying to say is that Superman is a cultural touchstone, inspiring countless creators and fans, whether it's through comics, films, or even merchandise. His symbol stands for hope, unity, and the belief that we can all be heroes. And we can't forget James Gunn's upcoming Superman Superman movie. This looks like it's gonna be fitting in with everything we love about Superman. It's giving me heavy all-star Superman vibes, and this trailer that's dropping is going to look gorgeous. Through every era, Superman has remained a beacon of hope. He's more than just a hero. He's a symbol of the best in us. Courage, resilience, and the enduring fight for a better tomorrow. He is the original superhero. Everything we love about comics today starts with him. From his iconic suit, to the memorable music, to the hope that he gives all of us. He is the world's greatest superhero. Even as interpretations of Superman get more complex, his core values, truth, justice, and hope remain timeless and universal. So who's your favorite Superman? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more superhero deep dives. And I can't wait to see you guys soon. And I cannot wait for July for this Superman movie to come out. But until next time,
Save Martha!